this is my motorcycle. It is a 1992 Yamaha XJ600. Recently I pulled it apart because it's been sitting in the garage. I've been riding it. And I pulled off the carburetors. I made a couple videos here on YouTube. The reason for this video is showing how I put this thing back together. And not just that, but maybe get it put back together, get it running and tuned. I figured you guys might want to come along and see this. You'll get some interesting things from it. I might get some motivation and love for this bike again. And either way, we'll have a lot of fun doing it. So I put these carburetors on the bike last night. I haven't done anything else with them. I mean, I don't think I've even tightened up the intake boots yet. Before I put any fuel in this bike, I need to tighten down these intake boots. And then once I've got these in, then I'm going to put some kind of a clear cup under this outlet hose. I'm going to see what kind of junk comes out of that fuel pump. I'm going to put some fresh fuel in the wasabi can. See if I can find something to put it into. If I try pouring it out of this, I'm going to pour like 3 gallons of it on the ground. Let's see what I can find. Well, this poor milk jug, it was my water jug, but I think right now it's going to be a fuel transfer container. Man, I'm going to give you one of those back in my day rants. When I was a kid, you just have a nozzle on your gas can, and you could put it in things and you could pour, and it wasn't a big deal. And then sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s, they went to this like nozzle that you had to push on to get gas to float. And every one of those I ever buy, they fail and they dump fuel down the side of the car or on everything else, so they end up getting thrown away. But I dump more fuel on the ground because of this stupid nozzle than I would if I didn't have it. Here goes everything. Let's see if this thing leaks. So I have fuel in the can. I've got a hose that comes down and goes into the fuel pump. Got a valve. It comes out of the fuel pump and goes into that milk jug. And what I'm hoping happens is when I open these 2 valves, I get some fuel pressure and whatever's in this fuel pump out. I suppose we'll see, won't we? Let this run for just a moment. I don't want to waste too much of fuel. I mean, no real surprise. It's kind of ugly green fuel. So it's good that I did that. Well, that's not a good sign. Oh, it's leaving this stupid hose, because of course it is, even though I've got both valves closed. So I've got fuel going in, I've got fuel in the fuel pump. I'm going to pop that hose off and put it on the carburetors and see if I can get fuel to flow in the carbs. Well, I'm running it through the pump, so that's not going to produce any fuel. I'm going to have to crank it so that the pump actuates and it moves. Man, I tell you, I have had the DuckTales theme song in my head all day. So I don't know if this battery is any good. It was new last year, or maybe it was new the year before. Yeah, it lasted about 8 seconds. So I'd say that we don't have any juice. I don't have to crank this thing. Good God, this battery's heavy! Alright, here goes everything. Oh yeah, good brake headlight. So I've got fuel here, I've got the vacuum hooked, vacuum plugged, fuel on, battery. I'm going to crank it and see if we can fill those carbs up. We're in neutral. I ran out of gas, so I put more gas in here. I'm going to try it again. It runs. it runs and it will accept throttle. So I think the next step is to clean this up, put the airbox on it. So I've hooked up the carb sync tool. I suspect these carbs are just really out of sync, which is why it's running like an absolute turd. So let's see what it looks like. So I've got to go eat some dinner, and then when I get back from that, we'll play with those synchronization screws and see if we can get this thing running better. I got them pretty close. I'm not quite happy with 3 and 4 yet. I'm going to toy around with it a little bit more. It's getting so hot I burned my finger. So I'm going to have to let it cool down a bit, maybe give this a second go. But I will say, man, the thing is running night and day better. Where you guys weren't watching, I put the fuel tank on, and I was kind of excited, so I rode it down to the gas station and put fuel in it. It's running great, especially in the higher RPM range. But down low, idle or right off idle, sort of that transition band, it's not so great. You know, you got to really work the clutch. So what I'm going to do is adjust the pilot screws. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a wideband oxygen sensor. I found that just a fantastic way to do it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to yank these off, I'm going to put these on, find the wideband sensor, I don't quite know where it is, and then I'll kind of show you that. We'll see if we can make it sound better. So this is what it sounded like before. And this is the same, relative position of what it sounded like after tuning with the wideband. I think the difference there is just amazing. So now that it's running, let's go outside, give this thing a bat. I really wanted to end this video riding around and showing you how the bike runs, the fun things that you expect at the end of a video like this. Unfortunately, I noticed that my tags are expired, so that's not going to happen today. So I'm going to call this video done. We'll call this part 1. Keep an eye out for part 2. I will do the ride around, I'll show you how the bike runs, we'll have a little bit of fun doing that. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I know I really enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed this content and you would like to see more, consider subscribing to my channel. I like doing this, and seeing new subscribers really helps with motivation. So with that, I'm going to end the video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, especially if you made it all the way to the end. Thank you for watching.